Do I think Kolasinac could play DM for us? In my opinion, no. I feel that he's, you know, either a left back or a wing back. If anything, he possibly could go into back three as a central defender. But as a holding midfielder, it's a specialist position. We're crying out for someone that knows what he's doing in that position for a long while now. So for me, it's no. Would I have Steve Bold as number 2 for the new manager? Very, very good question, because if we go for, say, someone like Allegri or Enrique, they're going to need someone with Premiership experience, which obviously Steve Bold has. The worrying thing is, and there's 2 trains of thought, you know, maybe Steve Bold's not been given the authority and the you know, like room to coach. And if that's the case, then, you know, maybe he's got a chance to prove himself. On the other hand, you know, it doesn't seem like he's contributed very much. A difficult question, but I feel because he's been a legend for the football club, and I really want him to be successful because of what he was like as a player, I'd like to see him given 1 year, just to see if under the new manager he is a very, very good coach. So I'd give him 1 year. Why was Patrick Vieira sold when he was 29 years of age and, you know, a massive influence on our team at the time? Mystery. You know, I look at it now, if he was 29 years of age, we'd be, you know, like, dying to sign him up on a new contract. I know there was a talk about Fabregas coming through. The team at the time, I'll never understand why we broke that team up so quickly, but with Vieira, the only thing that I can think of that he was probably like sold was because he was like thinking about going to Real Madrid the year before. I think like it was almost signed and he pulled out of it. Maybe like Wenger questioned his loyalty a little bit. I don't know. Definite mystery, and one that I can't understand. Freddie Ljungberg or Robert Perez? What a good question, and a tough one. I just think that Robert Perez for me was just a slightly better player, different sort of players, but I think Robert Perez was, you know, up there, and I've also met Robert Perez, so Robert Perez it is. In my opinion, who's the most underrated defender ever? That's a good question. I'm going to have to question adjourned. I'm going to have to think about that one. Would I consider Rosicky a legend or a cult hero? Cult hero. Marcio or Zaha? What a very good question. Do you know what? I'm gonna say the judge says Zaha. I just feel that he could do something for us. Gives us lots of skills, and I really like him to be. And he's really dragged Crystal Palace out of the relegation zone practically on his own. So that's my Wilfried. It's going to be. What net transfer do we need for the changes for next season? 200 million. End of. Formation with the current crop of players. You know, interesting that when we played in the back three, we've not been winning so many games, but I would still stick with a back four. So it would be 4-4-1-1. Do I think any of the current squad will have an outstanding World Cup? Difficult to say, really. Like, you know, I'd like to think Jack Wilshere would have a good World Cup if selected, but you know, you'd have to go for Mesut Ozil, I suppose, would probably do it. I'll tell you who could be a, you know, a little dark horse for it. Lacazette is coming to a very good form at the right time, scoring goals for fun at the moment. So if anybody, it could be Lacazette. Would I do a lap around the Emirates with a Spurs shirt on if it would guarantee us winning the title? Stupid question. Question dismissed. Kante or Vieira? Only one for me. One of the best players I've ever seen at Arsenal. Patrick Vieira all day long. What would be my five-a-side team out of the top 6? Good question. I'm going to have to adjourn that question until our adjourn programme gives me a little bit of time to think. So, question adjourned. Good one though. What ground would I choose to go to if it was a Champions League game between Anfield and Old Trafford? I would have to say Anfield. I always feel with Old Trafford it's a little bit quieter. I will say this with Anfield, over the years it's not as electric as it was, but I've never experienced a European night at Anfield other than when we was up there in the Champions League. It was a fantastic atmosphere, so I'd have to say that that Anfield just pips it for me. Sorry, Man United fans. Who did I like out of the best between Arshavin, Julio Baptista and Reyes? It's a good question because, to be honest, I liked all three, but all three of them never really produced. I like Baptista because of his power, and obviously scored a couple of goals against Spurs. Andre Arshavin, I think, just was, you know, if I'll be honest, wasted. Such a talent. But Reyes, I really did like. It's a shame he never really settled in Spain, from Spain to over here. I really did like Reyes, so and he did contribute in our, you know, obviously in our Invincible season. So for me, Reyes. What do I think of a Super League with all the European clubs? For me, not for me. I wouldn't want to be a part of that, if I'll be honest. I like the Premiership, the way it is, the way the European football comes in with the Champions League and everything like that. Listen, if it did come off, you know, again, it would like cost the average fan, I think, too much money going abroad and everything there. You know, let's be honest. When we go abroad now, say like to Madrid last week, as soon as the draw's made, the flights go up from like £50 up to £200, £300. So the fans would be like, I think, forced out of the game financially. So for me, even though it sounds a good idea, but for the fan, it's not for me. Do I think Ramsey could be good enough for a title-winning team? Good question. I do believe that he could be if he stays fit. I think that the one thing that with me with Aaron Ramsey, I think he's a fantastic player, box to box, scores goals, you know, more than anybody else in the league at this moment in time. The one thing that goes against him is he's never quite fit enough. And if he gets himself fit and stays fit, yeah, I believe that he could be good enough in a title-winning team. Who would I like to be the next kit sponsor for Arsenal? I'm going to be really honest about it. Puma, I don't think, have been as bad as what everybody makes them out to be. But if they have that kit, what I've seen being floated about at the moment with the little nets sort of on the sleeves, they're out. They're out. I'm going to go for Adidas. There's just something about Adidas I like. I know Nike were very good for us and everything like that, but you know, I'd like to see us have a little change up with Adidas, so I'm going to go Adidas. Do I think we'll see Cazorla play like he used to? Unfortunately not. I don't think that he'll be at Arsenal next year. It's an absolute shame that what's happened to him, but in football you've got to be ruthless, and in the past we've not been ruthless. And you know, as much as I'd love to see him back in an Arsenal shirt, I don't think it's the case. We've got to be looking for players now, young, hungry players coming through, so we've got to be ruthless, so unfortunately for me, no. What do I think of the selling of Wembley Stadium? An absolute joke. You know, it's our national stadium. All the years of we've been trying to make money out of it, and you know, playing semi-finals there for the last few years so that the FA can make money, and then for them to actually go and sell it, absolute joke. That's my decision. Who was I more disappointed about, losing Alexis Sanchez or Robin van Persie? I'm going to be honest, Robin van Persie, because I always felt that Sanchez was going to go. So I sort of, you know, like got used to the fact that he was going to leave, where I was always very, very hopeful until actually Robin van Persie did sign for Manchester United. So yeah, I'd say Robin van Persie. Best Arsenal comeback. Oh, off the top of my head, I've got to say that the best Arsenal comeback is '87 at White Hart Lane in the semi-final. He's actually never winning that tie. From the first leg, the second leg, it went to a replay and we were still losing it, to the last couple of minutes, 1-0 down with 5 minutes to go. Ian Anderson came on, Charlie Nicholas got injured and come off. Ian Anderson got the equaliser, and then you know, Rocky Rocastle, God bless him, got the winner, and it's still a great day. And when I think about it now, it gives me a smile. So I would say that one. Klopp's right-hand man becoming our manager. I just think it's speculation. You know, like at the end of the day, Arsenal have got to make a big appointment. You don't get rid of Arsene Wenger and then put in Klopp's number 2. Best Thierry Henry goal. In the question it says, you know, the goal against Leeds when he came for his return, which was fantastic. But for me, his best goal, and there've been some blinders along the way, I have to say. I would have to say that I'm going to say it's out of 2 off the top of my head, is the one against Spurs at Highbury. But I'm going to go for the one against Liverpool when he ran round about 3 or 4 players, and if you remember, it put Jamie Carragher and Steven Gerrard on the floor. And I think at the time it was important. It was just after we'd been knocked out of the Champions League by Chelsea. We was actually losing that game, and Thierry Henry showed up and scored a hat-trick that day, and the goal when he goes round 2 or 3 players was the one for me. Do I think Arsene Wenger should manage again? Yeah, I do. I think that he should. I think maybe an international job. I think that if I was Arsene Wenger, I'd definitely wait to the World Cup, see what happens with England and France. If both of them fail, then I think there could be an opportunity to manage one of those countries, and I think that he would be interested in that, if I'll be honest. So I think, like, you know, at his stage now of his life, maybe you know, an international job would be something that he would probably look for, and I would have no bones about that, beef about that, if it was to become England manager. With the new transfer, I think that was going to go in the new transfer with the World Cup being so close, and obviously with the window shutting early, I think that Arsenal are going to have to react quickly First and foremost, we've got to appoint a manager. I believe that'll be done in the next week or so, and get the business done early. I think, if I'll be honest, the club, the board, everybody's now got to change direction a little bit, you know, not just with the manager going, with everything. So I feel they've got to be more active, more decisive in the transfer market, get the transfers in early. The good thing about this window is that the new manager coming in is going to have people like Ramsey, Aubameyang are going to be there, that are not at the World Cup. So there's going to be some top players not going there so that they can get into the programme early and start getting used to what the manager's going to do. But so I do feel that, that they're going to be positive in this transfer window, and there are going to be some early signings. What Arsenal team did I like watching, first of all, from 2006 to 2012, even though they didn't win nothing, and then the team from 2012 to present? Good question. I'm going to say that even though we didn't win nothing, some of the football we played in the early days from 2006 to probably 2012-13, we were still playing really good football and being entertained. I do believe the football over the last couple of seasons has been nowhere near of the standard that Arsenal have set over the years, but we have won a couple of cups along the way. Obviously, you can't beat your club winning and the team winning, so I'd have to say that. But as far as the terms of football, I think that those from 2006 onwards to about 2012, we did play some great football, and I enjoyed watching Arsenal play them. That's it for this week. Don't forget to leave your questions below or ask the judge. You can get that on Twitter, Facebook, or all social outlets. Also, next week, what we're going to be doing the adjourned questions, but still put your questions in just in case we've not got enough. But we're going to go for the adjourned ones for next week.
It's Robbie here. I'm on the set of the Real Football Fan Show. We're about to get things cracking. You ready for this?
Oh yeah.
The Real Football Fan Show every Thursday just after midnight on Channel 4. Make sure you check it out.